Hello Year 5, welcome to today's topic lesson, which is history. We are looking at the Anglo-Saxons and the Scots again, and we are focusing today on place names. So our date is Wednesday the 13th of January 2021, and our target is I can understand how the Anglo-Saxons have influenced Britain by explaining some of the place names they established and their meanings. So we are going to see why they called places what they did. Our success criteria, you don't have to write this part down, is that we are going to match up Anglo-Saxon place names to root meanings. We are going to label a map of Britain to show some Anglo-Saxon counties, some city and some town names. So let's have a look at the kingdom name meanings. So these are the counties that the country was split up into, and they mainly come from the names and geographical location of the Anglo-Saxons who first settled there. So we've got a table, we've got the place name, and we've got the meaning of that word. So we've got Northumbria, and the meaning is land of people living north of the river Humber. We've got East Anglia. That comes from the fact that the Angles first settled there. Sussex, South Saxons. Wessex, West Saxons. Essex, East Saxons. Mercia, border people. And Kent are the Jutes who settled here, and they called themselves Kentings. So if you remember, there was lots of different groups of people who came over to Britain, and that's how the kingdoms got their names. So you may want to copy this table into your book. So, root meanings. Many of the names of towns and villages in Britain also came from the Anglo-Saxons. Have you ever noticed that many place names share some similarities? For instance, how many place names can you think of which have the endings shown on the signposts below? So we've got town and village names ending in ham, Ford and Worth. Now I know some cities that end in ham, for example, Birmingham, yeah, Ford, Bradford, yeah. Have a look. You can use the internet and maybe go on maps if you've got Google Earth. That might be a good help, but you need to be making sure you're on Britain, and or just Google the ending and see if you can make a list for me for each of these endings of any towns, villages, cities that you can find with those endings. And as a bonus, can you tell me what those endings mean? So why did they put ham on the end, Ford on the end, and Worth on the end? So on this page, I've got some Anglo-Saxon vocabulary, and you can see some of the endings of some of our towns, villages, cities, and what they mean and why the Anglo-Saxons used them. So it's just for you to have a little look at. I find it really interesting. So our task today. So just to recap, by now you should have a table showing me the different kingdom name meanings. You should have written a list using the root endings of ham, Ford and Worth of some cities or towns or villages in Britain that end in ham, Ford or Worth. And now your last task is to make a little poster. So this can just be on one of your pages in your pink book. And your poster should have little examples of place names and their meanings. It could have some examples of Anglo-Saxon words or information related to the naming of places. And you could even include pictures and diagrams to show places. So you could do a little mini map of Britain and label some of the places that have been named by the Anglo-Saxons. Be creative, and I look forward to seeing your posters.